Let us start with the next topic, energy and its type. So first let us define energy, and in your junior classes for many years you have been studying that energy is ability to do work. This is a general definition that you will find in every book. Energy is the ability to do work. But here let us say that work is done. Now we already know that to do work we need to apply some force to produce some displacement. So we can say that for there to be a displacement we need force, and only then we can say that work is done. So we can also say that energy is required to produce force. We need energy to produce force, or indirectly we can say we need energy to do work. So this is what is meant by energy is ability to do work, because to do work we need force, and to apply force we need some energy. Now there are different types of energy, but since we are studying mechanics, so we are not going to study about heat, light and chemical energy and all those. We will be primarily concerned in mechanics or two types of energies. First is your kinetic energy, and second is potential energy. Now you have already studied about these two. I'll just give you a brief summary, and then we will, in upcoming videos, we are going to apply these concepts. So kinetic energy, we know it is because of motion of a body. So any body which is in motion will have kinetic energy, and we can write the formula half mv square, formula for kinetic energy. Now potential energy is a little bit more complicated than kinetic energy. In potential energy there will be, it is first of all it is a stored energy. You always remember this concept will help you in solving many problems. Whenever we are talking about potential energy, we are talking about stored energy. Now this energy which is stored, it can be stored by changing the shape of the body also, and by changing the position with respect to earth also at some height. So it is a stored energy, and we will study this in detail in later topics in upcoming videos. Another type of energy, which is not actually a type of energy but it can be considered a dissipated energy. Now what is a dissipated energy? It is basically that part of this energy which is not used. This is the energy, we can say this energy is the one which is lost. Now till now what we have assumed, that all the work that we are doing, that is completely getting converted into energy. But this does not happen in practical application, because the collisions or because the energy transfer is not perfectly elastic. There will be some loss of energy. Now for example, if there is a body, a block of mass m, and some force is applied on it, and because of this force this body gets displaced by the displacement s, and after some time this body is this way, in this position, and we are continuing to apply force, we are moving this body. Now if we talk about the work done, now suppose we are applying this force, we are as an external agent, we are applying this force on the body. So that means because of this force there will be some work done. This force will do some work on the body to displace it, and we can say that this is the work done by the capital F, and this will be equal to force into displacement. Simple formula, already studied. Now this is the work done. So whatever energy, here we are talking about kinetic energy because we moved the body is in motion, so the energy is kinetic energy. So whatever energy we applied on the body, that converted into kinetic energy. So this work done by force is getting converted into kinetic energy. Now if we talk about practical application, if you imagine that in reality you are pushing a box on a surface, then we know that there will be some friction also, and that friction will be in opposite direction. So if this is the force and this is the displacement, that means some work has to be done by this friction force also. So this friction force, this will be equal to, again It will be equal to force into displacement, but here the force is the friction force and it is in opposite direction of this force. So if we take this as positive, then friction force will be negative. So it will be minus F into displacement, because force is in this direction and displacement is in opposite direction. So minus Fs. We know that friction force equals to mu n, mu into normal reaction, and normal reaction is equal to mg. So we can write this as mu mg s. So this is the work done by the friction and this is the work done that is applied by our force. Now which one of these is useful for us? Which kind of work done we wanted? We wanted this or this. Now obviously when our motive is to displace the box, then this is the work done that we consider. We would like that all my energy that I am going to spend should be converted into this work, because this is the opposite work. This work done is done by that force which is working in opposition of what I want to do. So this is not something that I want, but in practical application it always happens, and because of this particular part of work done or this energy we say is lost or dissipated. So dissipated or lost energy is that part of the total work done which is not useful, which is lost to the surrounding, which is never going to be used by us in doing some kind of work. That is completely useless energy that just produced because of certain external factors. So this is what dissipated energy means. It is not a type of energy like kinetic potential or heat, light, etc. It is the energy that is lost while doing some work. So this was lost, dissipated energy. Now let us come to classification of forces based on this energy. Now the forces can be classified into two types. I'll write classification of forces. Classification of forces based on energy. We did some other classifications also in the starting, that there are unbalanced forces and balanced forces, and we are not talking about that. In respect to energy, the forces can be classified into conservative force and non-conservative forces. Now conservative forces means that these forces, we will study non-conservative forces later. For right now, conservative forces, there are few important points that you should know. Conservative forces never dissipate any energy. That means there is no loss of energy in conservative forces. Why? We'll come to the next point and then it will be more clear. Second is, whenever there is a conservative force involved, the potential energy of the system changes. That means conservative force deal in potential energy only. They are not concerned about kinetic energy, they are concerned about potential energy, and potential energy is a kind of stored energy. So whenever some work is done by the system or whenever some work is done on the system, there will always be some change in the potential energy of the system. And because it is a conservative force, we can say that if suppose it is a positive work, just like we studied just now that there is a positive and negative work. Suppose if there is a positive work, then this means that the work, that the energy is supplied by the system. The energy is supplied by the system, that means the potential energy, what will happen? The potential energy will decrease. If there is a negative work, that means that the system is gaining energy. energy is gained by system. So if the energy is gained by system, then potential energy will increase. So this way positive and negative work both can be used. In case of a positive work, the energy will be supplied by the system. The system is spending energy to do some work. So if a system is spending energy, that means the potential energy of that system will come down. And if it is a negative work, that means the work is done on the system, and because of that the energy will be gained by the system, and hence its potential energy will increase. Third important point is the region or field where conservative forces are working are called conservative fields. So it can be an isolated system also, or it can be we will generally take this system as the independent system, the isolated system. For example, let us talk about an example. We are on the floor and we have a box in our hand, and suppose we have to carry it to the third floor of the building. Now, what is the property of a conservative field, or what is we can say the property of a conservative force, is that when the work is done, the potential energy that will be stored. Remember, we are talking about conservative forces, so we will talk about the potential energy always. So whenever the work is done, the potential energy that will be stored in the system, that will depend only on initial and final position. So if initial position is on the ground, we can say that here the potential energy, let us say, is 0, because it is equal to mgh and height is 0 on the ground. So let us say potential energy is 0 at this point. Now if we bring this box from here to the third floor of the building, then there will be some change in the potential energy because the height will increase. So there will be some value of potential energy at this point. Now it does, because all of this is happening in the conservative field, does not depend on the path of how you took the box from this point to this point. You can use a rope and directly supply this box on the third floor, or you can use stairs and you can go like this. Does not matter whether you are going in this way straight or through the stairs, the potential energy will depend on the final and initial position. So we can say that suppose this is a conservative field. Now why is it called conservative field? I'll just tell you. Let me first generalize this. If it is a conservative field, and if this is point A and this is point B, and if we have to carry a body from point A to point B, and suppose we go in this path, then there will be some potential energy UA at point A, we will use capital U, and some potential energy UB. Now there are two types in which forces can act. Either the conservative field will apply force itself, that is the conservative field will supply energy, the energy will be supplied by the conservative system, or an external agent will supply the force to bring the object from A to B. So in both the cases, what will happen, that if conservative field is doing the energy, then the work done by the conservative field will be equal to UA minus UB. Why UA minus UB? Why not UB minus UA? Because the system is doing work, so the system will supply energy, hence the potential energy is decreasing. That's why the potential energy at B will be lesser than the potential energy at U. So we will write A. So we will write UA minus UB. But if some external force is doing this work on this system, some external force is doing the work, some external force, suppose I am doing the work, I am an external force to this conservative field, and I am taking this particle from A to B, then I am supplying the energy in the system. By my force, by my work done, I am supplying the energy, so the system will increase the system will gain the energy, and the potential energy will increase. That means at point B, the potential energy will be more than at point A. Then in this case, the work done will become equal to UB minus UA. So be very careful about this condition, whether you should be able to identify whether the system is doing work itself or whether an external force is doing work on the system. In both the cases, there will be a difference of sign when we are calculating the work done or change in potential energy. So another example that we can give, I'll just do it here. Let us say this is a system in which there is an earth, this is earth, and an object, let us say a ball, is falling towards the earth. Now what will happen? Is there an external force that is applied here? I just drop the ball inside this field. I am not saying whether this is a conservative field or not. Let us just say it is a field, it is a region, and I am dropping the ball in this region. Now what will happen? We know that the ball will come down. Why will it come down? Because earth is applying gravitation force on the ball. So the system is doing work. The system is supplying energy. No external force is there. The system, the gravitation force of the earth is pulling the ball towards the earth, hence the system is doing work. That means it is spending energy, so the potential energy will decrease. Potential energy will decrease. This is clear. Now let us analyze this mathematically. At this point, there will be some potential energy because potential energy equals to mgh. There is some height at this point from earth, so there will be some potential energy. Now when the ball is coming down and potential energy is decreasing, this means at this point the potential energy should be lesser than that at this point, and we know mathematically that at this point the potential energy will be zero because the height becomes, the h becomes zero. So the system is losing energy, and because of, why is it losing? Because the system itself is doing work. This kind of field is called a conservative field. Again, there is a potential energy involved. We are not concerned about the kinetic energy because it is a stored energy. At this point, it had some stored energy. When it came down to this point because of gravitation, the stored energy became equal to zero. So this is also, gravitation is also called a conservative force. Again, same thing. It does not matter whether the ball is coming down straight or whether the ball will come like this. It does not matter. The potential energy, the work done, will be dependent upon the initial and final positions. So again, let's quickly talk about non-conservative forces. So it is a non-conservative forces is easier to understand. Non-conservative forces, first of all, non-conservative forces are those forces in which energy is dissipated. Energy is always dissipated. Just now, before starting the classification of forces, we saw how energy is lost in the form of friction force. So we can say that friction is an example of non-conservative forces because there will be energy dissipation of this force. And another point that we can say is that in this non-conservative field, we do not talk about potential energy. Potential energy is for conservative field only. It is a stored form of energy. In non-conservative forces, we do not talk about potential energy. Again, you can do the same example of what we did, that force is applied to displace this object here, and there will be a friction force. Now, in this point, is there any potential energy in the system? There is no potential energy. Both the positions, initial and final position, are on the same level. So there is no gain or loss of potential energy, but there will be a loss of kinetic energy. There is a loss of dissipated energy because of this friction. So make sure you understand this. Is a very important concept. If you have any doubt, you can let me know.